Welcome to episode 6 of the Hungry Trilobyte podcast. My name is Aaron Bossig, and I'm going to be your host. My guest for this episode is going to be Nana Visitor, who you'll probably remember from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I am really eager to get started with this episode. But before I do, just one small word of warning. This was one of the few episodes I actually recorded at a convention, and I didn't have quite as much control over the sound as I would have liked, so there is a bit more background noise than I'm used to. I tried to clean it up with the digital processing, and I was mostly successful, but it's going to sound a little bit different than other episodes, so just kind of know what you're getting into. Thanks so much. Here we go. And we're here at Soonercon with Nana Visitor. How are you doing today?
I'm really good. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's an honor, actually. I've been a fan of yours for almost as long as I can remember, and the last time I saw you, you were making some wonderful little snack, and just looking at you now makes me hungry.
We have history. We were on a ship together.
We were, and that's it does my heart good, but I'm bowled over by the passion you have for cooking, not just for yourself, but for large groups of people. And you covered that really well in your new book here. I flipped through it. You've gone into a lot of detail about the joy that comes from creating meals for your friends, your family, actually the preparation of the meals. And I strongly recommend anybody take a look at this for sure.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think that the preparation and your enjoyment when you're doing the work, that the work has to be joyful and intent on what you're doing. It isn't to impress. It isn't to, one up anybody. It's to feed people and to gather people. And it's such an important aspect of life to me.
And you really get into that when you talk about the almost meditative quality of picking out the ingredients, finding the right choices, and the fact that you don't need great ingredients. You just need to have good preparation and thoughtful, mindful choices in how to prepare it.
That's right. Yeah, fresh vegetables, of course, it's the optimum thing. But if you don't go for old vegetables. Go for lentils and rice and make a wonderful Israeli dish of mehadra, with sauces and fried onions. Just go with what you have and make the best of it.
You also have a drink menu in there as well. You're very good at pairing a great dish with a choice drink to kind of increase the social lubricant, as it were, and get people in the mood for just a good conversation.
You can always have wine, but it feels special. I always feel special when I go somewhere and they have a cocktail for the evening. Something that I wouldn't necessarily choose, but I find delicious. That's a wonderful element to give people a treat and an experience of something other than they usually choose for themselves.
And it's just such a shame because it seems like a lot of people, to me and my family, what you talk about here is something very basic to us. The idea of making a good meal, getting people together, having a good time, and yet there's so many people I talk to in the streets that are just like, we never do that. We eat out, we get frozen foods, and there's a place for that, but that's not your everyday life. I don't quite get where that comes from.
No, I know things have sped up so much, and children have practices that you have to get to. But there's always a day on the weekend or the weekday. There's always one day that you can gather people together, and it's a form of worship, worshiping our time, worshiping the gifts that the earth gives us. Mm-hmm. It sounds a little bit icky even to my ears, but it is true. I mean, it's a practice in gratitude.
You never know when your last meal with somebody is going to be, or if something's going to change. That their diet changes, they can't enjoy that anymore. Every time you get together, it's special.
It's worth a celebration.
Like for example, are you having anything special in town while you're here? Anything you're looking for that you can't get anywhere else?
Well, everyone tells me I need to go for a steak dinner, so I'm probably going to do that tonight.
Fantastic.
But, yeah. But that people say, if you go to Oklahoma City, have a steak dinner. Well, what would you suggest?
I would go for barbecue myself.
Barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's good to know.
And there's a couple places you could pick, and everybody's going to give you a different opinion as to what's the best.
Yes.
So I'm not going to try.
Yeah.
But I mean, your slow roasted porks and your chickens and stuff that you cover in here, you'll find that in places around here as well.
Sounds great. I did have biscuits this morning because that's not something you get everywhere in LA.
No.
And a good biscuit is really worthwhile.
Definitely see that for sure. So are you working on another book, or would you even consider taking your little cooking preparation show that I saw a couple months ago and doing something else with that?
I don't think so. People have asked me to do that. And there's something in me that rebels against. It's almost it almost gets fetishistic the way people are about food channels and cooking, and it's just all a little too precious, and it gets to be about. It's almost competitive, and that makes me want to step back from it.
Sure.
Because to me, it's always about the gift to people. It's not about, it gets a little creepy. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, because this has kind of died down a little bit.
It has died down a little. The chew disgusted me. I felt the overdone audience reactions. It was like, come on, stop. I prefer Julia Child, where she occasionally dropped a chicken or something. But she was showing us what to do so we could enjoy it ourselves. It just gets a little too precious.
There was this phase that I called cupcake worship.
Oh, yes.
And it's like, I like cake, I do.
Yes.
But when you're so concerned about it looking cute and being a little critter, and you don't actually want to eat it because, like, that's... What's the point in the first place? I'm sorry.
You are going to lose the taste.
Yes.
And it's the taste that matters.
Mm-hmm. Fondant versus frosting. What are your thoughts?
I definitely like frosting.
Okay.
And the cakes that I like the best are wet cakes. Actually, I think I have the carrot cake in the book, and it's a frosting it's a frosting you put on while the cake is still hot, so it melts into the cake. That's my favorite.
That is nice, because you don't have to wait for the cake to cool down while you're...
No, it's delicious. It makes a very moist, wet, dense cake.
You said, frosting over fondant, I'm on board with that, and I knew you were my kind of person when I'm reading a recipe in here and you say, it's supposed to feed 4, but I can eat half of it by myself. It's like, okay, I'm on board with that for sure. The great thing about this book is so personal. You just have a very conversational tone to the whole thing. It's basically a blog with better set height, basically. It really is.
Yeah, I used to have a blog called Un Petit Morceau because I had a catering business when I lived in New Mexico. And I cooked for large numbers of people, but it was this same way. I didn't standardize the recipes. I fixed them until they matched the taste picture I had in my mouth. So it was very, very personal. And my partner and I did very well in New Mexico for a while there.
I remember hearing about that, and I kept trying to figure out how to get out that way just to have something you were whipping up, and it's a regret of mine that never happened.
One fun thing that we did for the documentary, what we left behind, is they said, will you sign autographs or something to help raise money for the documentary? And I said, what if I cooked dinner and people came to dinner? And, and we did that. And we had, I rented out a place and I cooked for, I don't know how many we ended up being. Like around 20. I don't really remember how many people, but it was such a great night. It was one of the most fun fan experiences I've ever had.
That is a very, very classy way to do it. Are you a fan of Get Smart by any chance?
Oh, I loved Get Smart.
Okay. Do you know Carl Berkmeyer?
No.
Okay. Carl Berkmeyer was the head of the largest Get Smart fan internet group for like the past 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And about, I want to say, 15, 16 years ago, he put together what was called The Event, where he got anybody connected with the show who was still around, got them all to a little restaurant in Los Angeles, had everybody who could make it fly out there, and there were no pictures, no autographs. We're just all going to have dinner.
I love that.
It was an amazing idea.
I love that.
It was, and those are literally once-in-a-lifetime opportunities.
Right.
We were here at Soonercon. I love Soonercon. And look for yourself on YouTube later.
Cool.
But we have one of these every year. There'll never be another one of those nights.
Right.
And the fans will remember that for the rest of their lives.
Right. It was great, and I still keep up with some of the people who were at that dinner, which is so fun.
It really was, and as I said, just the fact that trip we took in January was the best trip of my life.
Wasn't it fun?
I
loved it.
I love cruising. I love conventions, and there was this thought that, what if I combine this two? Am I going to have some sort of weird mishmash that no, it was the best of both worlds, and so much more.
It really is. It puts us on a footing that everything is relaxed, and we're, humans experiencing something. Mm-hmm. But that's what food is. Food gives you something that you're both doing, and everybody is on the same footing when they're having a meal. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love about doing it. And it's something you're sharing, and right away you have something in common.
Absolutely, and yet you're each bringing your own palates to the table. So
right.
I could take this big old swig of blue cheese and say, this is the best thing I've ever tasted, and the next person at the table will be like, why are you serving me a plate full of feet? I mean, and you get to talk about that and share your experiences.
Right. That's right.
So this book here that I've been talking about, if somebody wants to pick this up for themselves, where can they do it?
Well, you know what? Right now, at the conventions and on board the ship, the cruise, the Star Trek cruise, it's the only places. I've tried to figure out how to do it on the internet, and it's just more than my 20th century brain can handle. So I bring it to conventions, mm-hmm. and it's on the ship. Gotcha.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck with this, because as somebody who is a fan of yours and a fan of this, the chance to have them both together is really, really exciting for me, and you're a perfect fit for this podcast, so thank you so much for being here.
I so appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Take good care.
Thanks, you too.
I would like to thank Nana Visitor for being my guest this week, and I would like to thank you all for listening. If you want to help the show, please like and subscribe on iTunes or whatever your podcast platform of choice would be, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Thank you, and take good care. See you soon.